Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fpl Yathu, our fantasy Premier League talk show, whereby we give you different tips, analysis on how to better your game in FPL or fantasy. So today we're back with 2 game weeks left. The next game week, the deadline ends on Friday, and then the other game week is next week Saturday. So we know that we have 2 game weeks left to save our FPL season. So today we're going to give you tips on how you can save your FPL season. Before I move on, last week I told you guys to captain Erling Haaland, and he came with a decent return of 11 points, even though he only played 1 match. But despite that, he came with a decent return. So this week we'll also be giving you different tactics, analysis, who to captain, which players to target, and the team you can pick for game week 37. Also, in our FPO Yathu mini league, it's also going to an end since we know we have 2 game week left. And right now, our top 3 teams are: number one is Club Chombeti by by Lonje. Number 2 is I think let's just cross check again the teams in FPO, the top 3 teams in the FPO league. So yes, number 1 is Club Tombeti by Theo Melewezi or Lonje. Number 2 is PSC by Maximo Stephen Guardier. Number 3 is Titiboy FC by Sazan Dezweli. And number 4 is ABM OMD Jawle Guardier. But then number 1, if number 1 remains Theo Malawezi, he walks away with 100,000 Malay Kwacha together with a shirt for his favorite team. Number 2, Fear City FC is going to walk away with 35, 35, uh, 35,000 Malay Kwacha. And number 3, going down, are going to walk away with nothing. So that's how it is. That's how it is. And last thing before we dive in, we have a final in this coming weekend. Chelsea goes against Manchester City in the FA Cup final. It's going to be an interesting tie. The last time these guys met in a final, Chelsea won, and it was the Champions League final. So I don't know, but then I'm rooting for my team to win that final. I mean, we've had a bad season, so I mean, this is only chance to wipe some deficits we've had to make ourselves happy. On the other hand, Manchester City is planning to get the treble, so we're going to try to stop them from getting the treble. So that's all I had at the beginning. So let's dive in. Okay, first of all, which players should we target in game week 37? The players we should target in game week 37, the first player is Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka is a man to target in game week 37. Reason being, these guys want to save the season. They want to win the season in game week 37. So they'll try their best to beat Burnley, and they're going against Burnley, a side that has already been relegated, concedes lots of goals. So Bukayo Saka is my first pick for game week 37. My second pick for game week 37 is none other than Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres is a striker in good form at the moment, and I wrote for him, picking him in game week 37 because I have a feeling he can score some goals against Burnley's weak defense. Another player that I'm looking at in game week 37 is Gabriel. Gabriel is a defender for Arsenal. Last time he played against Burnley, I think he scored a goal. I think he said he scored a goal and assist. He kept the clean sheet. And he had the DEFCON. So I feel like he's going to easily replicate that score he had. Another player that I'm going to target this week is Kieran Dewsbury. Kieran Dewsbury, these guys still look like they're trying to fight for the champions, for the European sport. So, I mean, it's not over until it's over for them. Apart from Kieran Dewsbury, I'm going for Bruno Guimaraes. His team is going against West Ham United. He's a good pick. Whenever he's going home, he's a beast, and he's only had two blanks at home. So Bruno Guimaraes is one guy that I'm going to pick this game week for me to push up my score. Besides from picking Kane just before, my other pick this game week is none other than Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes will want to break that record this weekend. So Bruno Fernandes is also another transfer target that I'm looking forward to. Another differential transfer target is the Leeds player Van Henke. I'm still looking at Van Henke because these guys want to qualify for Europe. So these guys have had like two past good games, keeping clean sheets, scoring goals. So I'm looking for Brighton to also come up with another good performance. So these are the players that are my targets this week, but you can also target other players from these teams, Man City, because they are fighting for the league, Arsenal, because they're also fighting for the league. You can go for Bournemouth players or Brighton players, because these players are fighting for a spot in the European race. Moving on, which players should be captain in Game Week 37? In Game Week 37, my first captain choice is none other than Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka is going against Burnley. Bukayo Saka wants to win the league. Bukayo Saka is Arsenal's man right now. He sent Arsenal to the Champions League final, and I feel like this guy just wants to make history. So Bukayo Saka is my first captain pick. My second captain pick is another than Bruno Guimaraes. He's going against West Ham. West Ham United have conceded many goals against midfielders. So I'm looking at Bruno Guimaraes capitalizing on that deficit from West Ham on conceding goals, whereby Bruno Guimaraes becomes a beast at St James Park. So Bruno Guimaraes is likely to hold in this coming game week. My last pick for captaincy is none other than Gabriel. Gabriel looks at keeping a clean sheet. He looks at just scoring a goals, and he also wants to win the league. So I think he won't allow to consider go against Brain, only if maybe it's not their day he's going to concede, but then which I 100% doubt. So Gabriel is my last captaincy pick for this week. Okay, so team of the week. Which team are we going to pick this week? All right. This week, we're also going to give you a team that's going to score you a lot of points. Last week, I gave you a team that scored about 100 points. Yes, 100 points, very sure. So this week, I'm going to give you another team that's going to score you a lot of points. First of all, in goals, I'm going to have David Raya. We all want to win the league, so we know David Raya has been that big man in goals. He's been Emmy Martinez type of goalkeeper in the World Cup, making those big saves. You know what I'm talking about. In defense, I'm going to have Nico O'Reilly, I'm going to have Van Henke, and then I'm going to have Gabriel. Three defenders this week in my defense. In midfield, I'm going to have my first pick in midfield is going to be Kane, just behold. Playing next to Kane, this is going to be Bukayo Saka. Playing next to Bukayo Saka, playing next to Bukayo Saka is going to be Bruno Fernandes. This is because Bruno Fernandes, I feel like, is going to break that record. Playing playing next to Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to have a differential pick. Um, Yankube Minte. Yankube Minte is going to be my differential pick for this week. And my last pick is going to be Bruno Guimaraes in my midfield. In strikes, I'm going to go for none other than Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is going to be my first choice in front. And then next to Erling Haaland is going to be Victor Gyökeres. So this is how my team is going to line up going into game week 37. So that being said, that's all we had for you for game week 37. Um, I just want you guys to play it safe, play it smart in game week 37. If you still have a chip, you can use your chip in this game week, because I've seen like there are close to 1,061,296 world cards made. and close to 9 million transfers made. And the most transferred in player is Ryan Check. The most captain player is Erling Haaland. So that being said, those are all the stats that you guys. Those are all the stats that you guys have to know. Don't forget the deadline for this game week is this coming Friday. So prepare for your team and get set. Don't forget if you are challenging, if you're in the FPL Yathu challenge, by Game Week 38, we'll have the winner. So stay tuned. Thank you very much. You're with me, your boy Zoitin Sunday, and see you on the next episode of FPL Yathu, our Fantasy Premier League talk show.